The Colts are traveling to LA, 105 Pacific kickoff time. Rams are favored by 3.5. The over-under is at 50.5 points. That is the highest this week, which means they don't have a lot of faith in the defenses, which I think is a little bit wrong for the Rams. However, their perimeter DBs were getting picked on. However, Alec Pierce, the best perimeter wide receiver that the Colts have, is in concussion protocol and may not be in this game. Tyler Warren, their tight end, who could also pick on the Rams secondary, is also a little bit hurt, so the Rams could be catching the Colts at a good time. The Rams were able to shut down Saquon Barkley, who has not been playing as well as Jonathan Taylor with the Colts. So will they be able to shut down the run and force Daniel Jones to win them this game, which he has not had to do in this undefeated streak that they have? You know, they've been a very balanced offense. Can they make them one-dimensional? How will Daniel Jones play? Is he still going to be, playing as good as Indiana Jones? How will this Rams defensive line do against the Colts offensive line, which I think is a strength versus a strength, which is always really fun to see. On the flip side, the Colts are missing a DB, so their secondary is hurting, and they're going up against Puka Nacua and Davante Adams. And again, the most efficient running game, which is the Rams with Kieran Williams.
Yeah.
So I think but I could absolutely see this being where oh shit, the Colts are real, which I'm terrified as a Rams fan. But I could see it.
Kind of a meme for being pure luck at this point, but I don't know. I don't know if I buy the meme. I think people are just shooketh.
There's a bunch of memes right now with Daniel Jones being in the MVP conversation, which he is. And there's all these memes of Josh Allen talking to Lamar Jackson. It's no, I'm the best. I'm the best. And then it plays the Anakin episode 3, when he turns into Vader music and a red saber ignites and it's Daniel Jones.
My God.
There's a bunch of memes about that going around right now. Because if the vote was today, then yeah, he would be. I do think it would go to somebody more like Jonathan Taylor, for example, but to each their own. And Puka Nacua is headed for the Triple Crown right now. He's just such a stud. They know where the ball's going. He's just so tough. Funny thing from the Rams game last week was Puka Nacua caught the ball. It was a little bit iffy, oh, did it hit the ground? You can't really tell. It looks like a catch. Instant replay is something that the NFL has now where there's people in booths watching and they can just change the call immediately. So they changed the call. So they said, oh, no, it's not a catch. I was watching the game that's a catch. McVay has to challenge the play. He gets the challenge right. That was a catch. And I was the instant replay is supposed to speed up the game. One other tidbit that only the Rams and the Panthers, surprisingly, are doing this, to talk a little bit about kickoff and special teams. Basically, the average start position for the Panthers, which is the best in the league, and the Rams for their opponents is on the 20-yard line. The next closest teams are 30-plus yards on average. The reason this is happening is because their kickers are knuckleballing it into the 10-yard receiving target zone, which is forcing them to kind of receive the ball a little bit weird because, again, it's a line drive kick from the Rams and Panthers, the only two teams doing this right now. And then they have to run it out. They can't just sit on it and take the ball at the 35, which is what a lot of other teams are doing because the ball goes into the end zone, for example. So they're forcing them to return it, which they don't have as much room as in years past. This is kind of new for this season. I expect more teams to kind of start to do this knuckleball kickoff thing, but it has made the kickoff way more important. Starting field position is extremely important. So yeah, it's very interesting to see. I'm excited to watch this game. I am excited to watch this game. Should be good.
I'm nervous about it.